Okay. Sit down. I need to tell you about an identification procedure. A prince meets a woman at a ball, dances with her for hours, face-to-face, conversation, eye contact. Then she leaves one shoe behind, and this man responds by testing it on every eligible foot in the kingdom. Not her face, not her voice, the shoe. Folks, this is not romance. This is a lineup where the witness is footwear. One missing woman, one glass slipper, 0 names. Let's go. Fairy Tale Flip. Episode 7. Cinderella, a 40 forensic story. Or, as the file reads, the glass slipper lineup. Meet Cinderella. That is not her name, by the way. It's an office nickname based on workplace conditions. Her father is gone. New management, 1 stepmother, 2 stepsisters, and Cinderella doing every job that ends in ash, soap, or someone else's plate. She sleeps by the hearth. The cinders supply the nickname. Hostile work environment. Branding problem. Same file. And here is the cruel little trick. She is not invisible. Worse, she is useful. They see the fire lit, the dresses mended, the breakfast served. Never the hand. Then the palace sends an invitation. Every eligible young woman may attend a royal ball. The prince is looking for a bride, which is a lot of pressure for one evening with refreshments. The sisters receive gowns. Cinderella receives a list. Wash this, lace that, fix the hem. And if every task is finished, maybe she can come. She finishes everything. Of course she does. The answer is still no. File note. The invitation. Open to everyone. Enforced by nobody. The carriage leaves without her. Cinderella sits by the garden and cries. Not loudly, not royally. Episode 6 used the premium package. And then, light. A fairy godmother appears like an emergency contractor who has seen this exact project before. You wish to go to the ball? More than anything. She surveys the site. 1 pumpkin, 6 mice. A lizard situation nobody explains. Then she goes to work. Pumpkin to carriage, mice to horses, rags to a gown so bright the knight has to adjust around it. And on Cinderella's feet, glass slippers. Glass. Footwear. For dancing. OSHA has left the chat. But the work is immaculate. No invoice, no firstborn clause. After the Frog Prince file, I checked twice. Material alteration. The transformation. Clothes, transport, accessories. Not her face, not her voice. The magic does not make Cinderella beautiful. It makes her look expensive. And here, expensive means visible. Remember that. Then comes the condition. At midnight, every spell ends. Every spelled. No grace period, no snooze button. Midnight means midnight. She arrives and the ballroom stops. Same face, same voice, different fabric, and suddenly the room has eyes. The prince looks across a room full of eligible citizens and walks straight to Cinderella. May I have this dance? And then he has the next one, and the next. These two spend the entire evening 6 inches apart, talking. I want that in the record. He hears her voice, he watches her smile. He asks where she's from and somehow accepts nearby as a complete answer. Your Highness, follow-up questions are free. The sisters whisper that the mysterious woman seems familiar. They shared a breakfast table with her this morning. They know those hands, that posture. But the dress costs more than the house, so their brains overrule their eyes. Apparently satin is witness protection. Cinderella is having the first good evening of her life. The prince is falling hard. Neither one exchanges a name, not once. Identification opportunity, the dance. Duration, the entire ball. Result, pending. Then the clock begins. Cinderella freezes. I have to go. The prince laughs because people with permanent clothes do not understand urgency. At least tell me your name. There it is, the correct question, asked at 11:59 and 58. Cinderella runs. Down the gallery, through the doors, onto the palace steps. The prince follows, calling after her, but not, and this matters, describing her to anyone. No name, no address, no family. Just a face he has studied for hours. Flag the face. Same face tomorrow. We're coming back. At the final stair, one glass slipper comes off. She cannot stop. The carriage is already becoming produce. The horses are negotiating their return to Mouse. She makes it home in time, wearing rags, one bare foot, and one glass slipper that somehow did not expire. Limiting condition. The deadline. Met by one shoe. The prince reaches the stair. Woman gone. Carriage gone. One glass slipper sits under torchlight like it requested an evidence marker. He picks it up himself. No gloves, no photograph, no witness initials. Chain of custody begins with a lovesick royal holding Exhibit A against his chest. Not ideal. Now, the prince could describe her. He could ask the guest list. He could return to the place she said was nearby. He could stand in the square and look for the same face. Instead, he announces, I will marry the woman whose foot fits this slipper. Sir, that is not identification. That is a promotion tied to shoe size. And notice the wording. Not the woman I danced with, not the owner. The woman whose foot fits. We have converted a witness search into a kingdom-wide contest with a throne attached. Exhibit A, the slipper. Relevant evidence. Catastrophic protocol. The Royal Herald receives the slipper, a velvet cushion, and the worst assignment in public service. Door to door they go. Every village, every manor, every foot. And I need to be clear, a shoe size is not a fingerprint. Many people share one. That's why stores keep stacks. This investigation has a sample size of one slipper and a control group of the entire eligible population. We did not call our former documentary partners. They heard kingdom-wide shoe montage and arrived with a crane. They say this is a limited engagement. They still have our extension cord. They invoiced us for the entire kingdom, mileage included. The Herald keeps moving. Too loose, too tight. Wrong foot, other foot. 1,000 hopeful citizens and one increasingly haunted public servant. The slipper remains intact, which is more than I can say for the procedure. And somehow, by luck, magic, or the fairy godmother quietly manipulating the sample, there is no false match. Yet. Investigative method, the search. Efficient? No. Reproducible? Tragically. Final address, Cinderella's house. The stepsisters go first. One points her toes, one negotiates with her heel. Neither fits, and both accept the result without surgery. Thank you. Different edition. The Herald starts packing. Then Cinderella steps out of the kitchen. The room laughs before she finishes crossing it. That is not evidence, that's policy. May I try? The prince is here for the final stop. He looks directly at her. Same face, same voice, same woman. Nothing. The evidence apparently has to reach the ankle before memory reaches the brain. The slipper slides on. Perfect fit. The prince gasps. The herald gasps. And now the face flag pays off. He recognizes her only after the shoe tells him to. Hours of direct observation, overruled by footwear. The slipper does not change Cinderella. It changes what the room is willing to believe about her. But Cinderella does one more thing. She reaches into her pocket and produces the second glass slipper. There. That is evidence. Matching object, impossible material, Same workmanship, same magical nonsense. Not just a foot that fits, the pair. Corroborating evidence, the pair. Case solved despite the method, not because of it. It was you, says the prince. Yes, Your Highness. It continued being her. So let's review the file. The invitation, the transformation, the dance, the deadline, the slipper, the search, the pair. One ball, one missing woman, one recovered exhibit, one matching object, and a kingdom that learned every shoe size except her name. Cinderella moves to the palace. The Step family keeps the house and receives a staffing budget. Turns out chores become jobs when someone has to pay for them. The fairy godmother gets a palace credential and a rule waiver for pumpkins after dark. The herald takes leave. Earned. And the prince? Cinderella makes him introduce himself again. Properly. Name, address, and if I change clothes? He gets 2 out of 3. We're working on it. But the fairy godmother's best trick was never changing Cinderella. She didn't. She made a room look long enough to notice who had walked in. So here's your fairy tale flip moral, folks. If you danced with her all night, try her face before you canvass the kingdom. A shoe size is not a fingerprint. Next time on Fairy Tale Flip, a strange little man spins straw into gold and drafts the most predatory contract in fairy tale history, a baby as collateral, then loses everything on a name. Rumpelstiltskin. Buddy, use a pseudonym. See you then.